Hey everybody, Tom here, and today I want to teach you how to make some tile caps. Now, tile caps are a storage solution that I came up with inspired by the game Sorcerer City. And so I'm going to be using Sorcerer City as the material I'm using to make this video. Oh my gosh, pretend that was English. But it's entirely possible that I have made tile caps for a different game, and so maybe you're here for a different game. But if I've led you to this video, it's because this video should help you learn how to make them. Now, again, inspired by Sorcerer City, let's go ahead and take off the lid and talk about the reason why these things exist. All right, so this game, super cool. I have the Deluxe Kickstarter edition. And when we take off the lid here, you're going to see that I have these caps for the tiles. So the tiles just fit inside of these caps like this, and it's perfect. Now, the reason why I came up with this idea is because there's actually this big plastic overlay that's supposed to go over the tiles. But when none of the tiles had the caps, it was really frustrating because the tiles sometimes just weren't perfectly in line with the insert. And so when you would go to put this protective layer on that would keep the tiles in place, it was usually really finicky and fiddly and super obnoxious to do. So I built the caps to try to help with that problem. And then once I built the caps, I realized you don't even need that big plastic thing anymore because everything will stay in place. So, anyway, all of these tile caps, they all use the exact same template. Well, ish. Obviously, there's size differences. And so they're going to follow the same patterns and the same way to build them. And so the trickier ones to make are these super skinny versions. And so we're going to make a tile cap for this shape here. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the cap, and that's the one we're going to be making. It's the one that will cover that. So if you want more information about this game or other game storage solutions that I've designed, you can visit my website, tomteachesgames.com, and you can find either Sorcerer City, or I have all sorts of different storage solutions for you. But when you go there, you will find a link that will take you to Board Game Geek, so you can download and print these files. And so I've just gone ahead and printed one of the pages from that file. Now, always print this on cardstock. It doesn't matter how heavy the cardstock is that you choose. You just want cardstock. And so I just have the cheapest, it's not super thick or anything. I just have the cheapest cardstock I could find at Walmart. And for this, it's nice to have a paper cutter. You're definitely going to need some scissors and some tape. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the paper cutter to go ahead and cut the outline of this shape. And it's really awkward because I have a tripod right here, so I can't really do that on camera. So give me one quick second. I'm going to go ahead and use the paper cutter, cut out the outline, come back, and I will show you how to finish making this tile cap. Okay, I am back, and as you can see, I've just gone ahead and cut around the outside of that shape. So what we got to do next is going to seem like a ton of steps if you do them individually, but I'm going to do my best to show you some shortcuts to make this process not so crazy. So first thing we're going to do is there are four boxes or four rectangles on the outside with an X. We need to cut those ones out. So just a general guide for any of my designs is solid lines are going to be folding lines, dotted lines are cutting lines. And so let's just start with that. We're going to cut the four rectangles out. Now, something that one of the shortcuts I'm going to show you is there's going to be this little extra piece that's still part of the design. Again, a folding line right there, and there's no X here. Now, we're going to want that cut just at a small diagonal, so you're going to see me kind of do that at the same time. I'm essentially cutting out the rectangle, but I know that this tab over here I'm going to want kind of trimmed up like that. So we'll just go ahead and do that while we're going. It's going to be hidden, but it's just nice to have that cut at a slight angle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, one way that this design is different than a lot of my other ones is you're going to see the word trim on here, and that's mostly why I decided to make a video, is to explain why the word trim is there. Just ignore it for now. That's going to be our last thing that we cut at the very end. All right, so we'll get these things out of the way here. Now, you can see there's going to be four different sides, and we're essentially going to do the exact same thing on all four sides. So let me do this side the slow way, and then we're going to look at it, and I'll do the fast way on all these other sides. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out this rectangle with the X in it. That's just total garbage. So we're going to cut that out. And I'm just following the dotted lines in the slower version. Okay, so we cut that out. Now you could see if we follow the dotted lines here, we're going to be making a tab that way. So I do want to do that. So let's go ahead and cut like this. Okay, now a couple other things. You're going to see a rectangle over here that's just like this one. It's going to become a tab. So I'm going to want to cut like that. Now, oh, do you know what? There's a typo on this. I'm glad I saw it. I need to fix it. Sometimes when I copy and paste, things are problematic. These two dots are supposed to be up here by the word trim. Same with these two. So I'll get that fixed. Again, I'm glad I saw it, but embarrassed I saw it on camera. But pretend like these two dots are up here by the word trim. Those dots mean that we need to cut at an angle where the dots are, kind of following along the dots and going this way. So again, pretending, this is so dumb, I should just refilm this, but I'm not going to. We're going to pretend the two dots are right there, and we're going to just trim it like this. Okay? Same exact idea, only this one is correct. We see two dots like this. The two dots show us the direction we're going to cut, and where the dots are, that's going to kind of show us where to start, and we're going to cut at an angle like that. So I'm going to cut like this. So if you want to, you could do that all the way around on the other four sides. That's the process. But if you look closely, you can kind of see the shape that we're going for. And I've done this enough times that I've just started doing it quickly. So let me go ahead and I will do this quickly and I'll show you how. Again, it's almost like I think about a chair. This is going to be a chair we're cutting out. This way we're going to cut it out like this. So a little angle, cut out the seat of the chair. We're going to cut this at a slight angle, because those dots are correct. And then we're going to come up and over and then cut that angle here. So again, you can go the slow way if you want, rewind and rewatch it if you need, but I'm going to show you the faster way. I know that tab is going to need an angle, so I'll cut that. Follow this part of that box. When I turn the paper like this, I know I want to cut off those two dots, so I'm going to kind of cut it at a slight angle. It doesn't matter if the dots are still there, but the angle is what's important. Then I'm going to turn that, follow it around this way and around this way. Okay, and then the last cut I need to make is this one right here, but on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that like that. Okay, let me do that again. Well, two more times so you can watch again. So same thing, cut a slight angle there because I know that's going to need one. We're going to cut that straight on the line. This one, again, the two dots are supposed to be up by the word trim. There was just an alignment issue. So I'll go ahead and do that. That. We're just following that around the word trim. And then we're going to cut the back of the chair at a slight angle like that. Oh. Okay, let's do that one more time. Angle. Stay on the line. We're going to go at an angle. Stay on the line. Stay on the line. And then we got our two dots right here, so I'm cutting at an angle like this. And there we go. We are totally cut out. And again, even when the shapes are different, this is the general idea. All I did for the other tile caps was I made this middle section wider. So there you go. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is, oh, should we fold next? No, we still got our scissors. Let's trim off the parts where it says trim. And again, the different sizes might not have the word trim as many times as you're seeing them here. The reason why this is the word trim here is this part of this tab is going to go right here when we fold it. So this is going to go here, and you can see this is much longer than that is wide. So that's why I'm saying to trim it. So what I like to do is I just kind of like to take my scissors like this. Can you see that? And I just go, I don't know, about like that. You can always trim more if you need. Don't trim too much. And then same thing over here. I'm just going to turn it, put my scissors in like that. Maybe go about halfway down on those and trim it like that. Okay? And now this size is a lot of it closer to that size right there. Pretty similar idea, only here we can basically, so this length needs to be about this length right here. So you could probably just cut off the word trim, maybe just go a little bit lower than the word trim. It does not matter, it's all going to be hidden. This is kind of just for a structure. So we're just going to go ahead and trim that up like that. So some of the boxes don't need that trimming, but these ones do. Like I said, this one's the trickiest size, so that's why we're making this video. Okay, we're going to flip it over and do our folding. Now the same general idea is going to happen on these two different looking sides. So let's do them both, obviously. So for this wider side, we're going to fold in these two, let's call them wings. So we're just going to fold them right there. And remember, solid line is a folding line. And I always like to start on the blank side because as you pull the tab, it's going to kind of reveal the line. The other reason is that's the way it should end up folding. So let's go ahead and fold this other wing like this. Okay, now on this side, there's a line right here. That's going to be my next fold. I like to fold right above those wings on these sides. So we're going to fold that. Again, just let the wings be your guide. I'm kind of folding that paper down until I see a hint of that folding line right there. Give it a good crease with either your fingernail or sometimes I'll use the handle of the scissors. And then the next thing we're going to do is keep this folded, and I want to fold on this line right here. Okay, so keeping this folded, basically we folded on top of the wings, now we're going to fold on the bottom of the wings. So I'm just pinching that together with my fingers and pulling that down like that. All right, so this is kind of how that side is going to end up. So let's do the same thing over here. So just to review, start by folding in the wings. So these are the wings that are closer to the base of the box, not the ones that are farther away. Fold in the wings. We're going to fold above the wings. Sometimes I'll like to use the bottom of the wings to line up with that line right there. That's usually a pretty helpful thing. Okay. And then we're going to fold right there on that line. Like, oops, I went a little too far. So I'll just push it back and crease it when I feel like it's a pretty good spot. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, we got that side all folded. Next thing we're going to do is fold these ones. So these ones are just a little bit different because the wings aren't right against the base of the box, they're up higher. Same idea though, we're going to start by folding the wings in. So fold that in, fold that in. And this time we're going to fold below the wings as our first fold. It's the second line down. We're going to fold below the wings like this. You kind of see why we're doing that? We're trying to make this tab so it'll go inside the box. So folding those down. And in fact, this was kind of a useful thing when I was making this particular design, is if you let these wings kind of up, it's like these wings rest on those. So you know you're getting a straight line. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it was helpful for me that kind of rests there. Okay, and then we need to do this fold right here. So I want to fold on that line right there. So I just keep it pinched and bring it in and give it a crease. Okay, let's do the same thing over here. So remember, wings always go first. Fold it in, fold it in, fold below the wings, and then we're going to fold right above that angled tab right there. Okay, awesome. All right, everything is now creased, which is going to make this next part very easy. Well, as easy as this weirdo design is going to be. Okay, here's what we're going to do next. We're going to take we need to get the lower wings taped down. So even if this was like a wider design, you're looking for the wings closer to the base, to the center part right here. But basically, what I like to do is I like to kind of fold these up like this. My goal is to get these taped. Fold those up. This is kind of weird. All right, fold those up. Get your wings in. And then we're essentially going to turn the box inside out for this first taping. And here's what I mean by that. We're going to take this, and eventually this is going to wrap around and go down and in, but I want to get this taped nicely. Hold on, I have an itch on my nose, and it is itchy. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this up. And like I said, pretend like we're doing this inside out. I'm going to take that up and wrap these wings around the outside. It's inside out. And then we're going to fold these down. Now what that's doing is it's getting your side of your box in the right place so that when I put a piece of tape right here, it's going to stay the nice size that I need it to stay. So you just get a skinny piece of tape like that, and you're just trying to get it in there so it covers both of the wings. And if you have some excess at the top, that's okay. You just bring that side up and rub it on there so it looks like that. Okay, again, I know this is tricky. It takes a little bit of practice. I've just made a million of these. So same idea on this side. So we're going to basically make it inside out for a second. So we're going to bring this up like this, wrap the wings on the outside of the box like that. Okay, and once you feel like you've got a good shape, oops, that tape was probably too big. Let me get rid of that. Let's get a skinny piece of tape, get it in there on the wings, something like that. I usually leave a little bit of tape on the outside so that when I pull this up, like if you don't, it's going to stay out like that. So when I pull this up, I can tape that on there, and that's secured. Okay, now what we're going to do is just get another skinny piece of tape and put it right here. And now I'm just going to take this side and push it down and in like this. Make sure that it goes into the corner, and then rub your finger to make sure that that's taped on there. All right, let's do that again over here. So we get a skinny piece of tape, put it right there, wrap that down, and again, you can see these wings that we trimmed, they just needed to be trimmed to go inside the box. So we're gonna go ahead and just push that in. Get your fingers to push that all the way down and in like that. All right, now this next part is tricky with this one. Like I said, this is our trickiest one. The other ones, this will be a breeze. This one's a little bit awkward. So I'm gonna get a piece of tape about that long. Put it right here. Okay, we could do that on the other side if we want to, so you don't have to do it later. But essentially what we're gonna do is we're gonna tuck these in. That's gonna cover these flaps. It's gonna give a bunch of sturdiness. The trick is that this part is thicker than this part. So you kind of have to force it in a little bit. So you gotta like kind of push it, try to not like crease it, but it is gonna bend a little bit. So you just push it enough so that it bends and goes down in like that. And then what I usually do is I just take my finger, make sure that all of the corners are not like jutting out at all. Okay? And then you can do the same thing on this side. You just push it, try not to crease it, but you're gonna have to kind of force that down in there like that. And go ahead and rub your fingers. Now, depending on your preference, it kind of bothered me that this pokes out just a little bit. So something that I did, I actually did it with more clear tape than this one is, but you can just go ahead and grab some pieces of tape, a piece of tape like that, and just push it down. And that will give you a really solid looking side of your box. We'll do that on this side too. Put it here. Push it down. Oh, okay. Just like that. And we are ready to add that to our tiles. Now, depending on where you've creased everything, these tiles might be a little loose or they might be a little tight. Let's see how this one works. This one is just right. Now, my key is whenever you're taking these in or out, just make sure you're pinching right there so that especially where the box is loose, like on this one, it's a little bit loose. Okay, these tiles comes out really easy. But if you just pinch it when you're taking it in and out, no big deal. Same idea over here with the monster tiles. So if you just pinch it on the side, my box is a little bit big for that, then they come out, everything's labeled. Okay, but again, it's this exact same design. You can kind of see on the inside, it's the same thing. I just didn't actually have to trim these ones. So put those in, pinch it. You can drop them in just like that. Like I said, I don't even use the plastic piece anymore. I just have stuff fitting. I have my cards, I have my player pieces all in their own individual bags like that. You can actually fit the coins in on this side perfectly. I don't know if this was on purpose or not, but the hourglass fits right there amazingly. And then we can just kind of go ahead. Oh, these are a little high right now. Something like that. Okay, so these can go in, these go on that side, and grab my rule book. And there you go. that is how you make a tile cap, either for Sorcerer City or maybe another game. Who knows? That's in the future, and I don't know what's happening. So anyway, there you go. Thank you guys for watching. I will talk to you later. Goodbye.